I know there's a couple of you in the audience. I don't know if you planned on speaking during the public forum. We just have a form that we ask you to fill out if you're going to, but if not, that's okay too. I just, in case you want to, just let you know. So we are gonna go ahead and start with roll call, Mary.
Vote. Sears. Here. Lux. Here. Mattson.
Here.
And Campbell.
Here.
I just say your gavel rap seemed like you didn't put a meaning.
Sorry. It's still going.
It was under one.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just don't want us to like this.
Yeah.
It's very awful. Sweetie, I didn't see any neighbors. We do.
Agenda changes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a couple changes to the agenda. One, we are adding under new business, item C, student rep report. Shay Allen's here to give us that report. And then we need to do this one, too, we have an addition of a paraprofessional position under contracts and retirements. For, what's his name?
It's gonna be Dominique Williams. He's gonna be a paraprofessional at the middle school starting on January 16th. His hourly rate is $18.81.
So that gets added under there. Was that all the changes? Okay. So then we just need to.
Make the motion.
For the second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. And then we had no waivers tonight. Minutes were emailed out, and I don't believe there was any changes to them that I saw, so I don't know if there was anything from you guys. If not, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 9th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item is expenditures. I would entertain a motion to approve A through C of expenditures unless you would like to pull anything out.
Motion to approve the expenditures.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see, did you have something? You looked.
No, I actually had a question, for Zach, but it's not in the committees we discussed here.
Okay, perfect.
And he will be here a little later in wrestling practice.
So we have, the next item is financial statements, A through K. Again, I would entertain a motion unless you would like to pull anything out of there to discuss further.
Make a motion to approve the financial statements, A through K.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is old business. We have a refueling station policy, either approval or denial of that. We've had a discussion about it. Last meeting. Changes?
Yep, so I would just point out real quick, and we could swap the words too, but in the title of the policy, we wrote athlete/student refueling station because there's some discussion about, will that be open to fine arts students? And Zach's kind of doing some work on that as well. One thing I would just, again, point out to the board, you've all had a chance to review Brad Meyer's proposal on his foundation, his 501c3, and that's a separate deal. He's going to do whatever he does there, and he's going to be donating food product, not money. And we're going to so our policies will kind of govern when those things enter our walls. How are we going to deal with it? Who's going to be eligible to receive that? How do we make sure that it's not conflicting with the school lunch program? How do we make sure that it's nutrient dense type of foods, that kind of thing? And so that's what our policy deals with, is kind of the management of that within our walls, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
I do appreciate the addition of student, because I do think it's important to note that it's not just for athletes that are here for extended hours. There are other students who are here for extended hours as well. So I do appreciate them being included in this policy as well.
I would just have one here where you just spell out athlete, you should probably say athlete and sash student, it's like those
Yep,
first paragraph.
Any athlete.
There, student athletes, just so it's consistent.
yep.
That was the only place I think I saw, the rest of it, it just said student, which I don't think that really differentiates.
They're all students, yeah.
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 Yep.
I think that was the only one that I saw. So with that, I think tonight, with this is the, you can take action on this policy if you choose to tonight. Your action would be, either a recommendation to approve it or.
I make a motion to approve it with that change.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion in the second, all in favor?
Aye.
So the policy EFG has been passed and will be put into the book. The next one is policy JJK, school district logo use and permissions.
Okay, just real quick here, couple of things. I see Aaron is in the audience here and, he emailed me and I think a couple of board members are on there as well, kind of about the registered trademark part of it and, so I'll tell you what I'm gonna recommend here. Our intent is to get those trademarks registered. We haven't done that process yet. Initially, I think our biggest priority is just to kind of set some boundaries, so that like well-intended local people kind of know how to work with the school district on using the logo and what the process is, that kind of thing. But, when Aaron kind of brought that up, pointed out the, process of registering a trademark, I guess my recommendation would be under authorized use where it says the Lead-Deadwood School District logo, and then it said is a registered mark. I would just scratch that language. So it says the Lead-Deadwood School District logo may only be used with prior written permission from Lead-Deadwood School District. I should just, for now, take that reference to a registered trademark out of there. And I think we would still have the ability to register that trademark at a later time. So there's that. And then also in that paragraph, this is in the printed form that's in the board packet. And I tried to put the new additions in red from the first reading. But permission is granted by the superintendent or designee. And then again, at the bottom, for permission or questions, contact the school district superintendent or designated contact listed on the school website. So that's going to kind of force us to, like, if we want to give our AD the authority to grant that permission or whatever, we'll list out on the website so that people kind of know what to do. Other than that, it's pretty much the same policy that we looked at a month ago. And ready to be, well, I guess the other addition is the exhibit that has the examples of those logos and mascots. And well, I don't know how in Simbly, how pictures work. Did it go into Simbly? Okay. Okay, good. And just so you guys know, and this is, I don't want to get off on too much of a rabbit trail, but we're kind of we're converting all of those policies to PDFs because we pay a subscription to Simbly every year. And I think if we're not doing a lot of heavy policy revision, we don't necessarily need to pay $1,500 to have our policies housed on the Simbly site. We could just have a PDF version on our website. So that's something that's coming forward. And we kind of have that in mind too when we put these documents together. So anyway, that exhibit is added there, and that exhibit will also be on the website too. So there you go.
I would entertain an motion one way or another to either approve or disapprove the logo policy with the changes.
I guess my only question would be that if they are not registered marks, is there anything enforceable about this policy? I mean, we can write this policy, but if we don't have any trademark on this, is there anything we can actually do?
Probably not a lot, but I would say that that's not a reason to not adopt the policy. It's kind of a good faith thing. I mean, we still own those logos. And like I said, we're gonna undertake that process here shortly to get them registered, but. Yeah. And I think more than anything, like the example we had earlier this fall, we contacted that person, said, hey, we're not thrilled with how you're using the logo. I mean, this person was trying to help the school district, trying to do a good thing. Yeah, it wasn't a fight. It was just like, oh, okay, well, I'll do it differently. That's how I anticipate.
Yeah, I guess my only concern was if we'd be potentially getting ourselves into a legal gray area. How long would it take? Do we know how long that takes to get the registered?
I don't know. Usually we don't ask the audience, but Aaron, what should,
A state trademark would fly through the state, I mean, like a week.
Yeah, I think it's just a paper, like you have to.
Yeah, they don't examine them on the state level. They're
Yeah.
quick and easy.
now you realize we're gonna get a bill for 4. Yeah, so.
Okay.
We are. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the, logo.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So the motion carries on that item. The next item is new business contracts, retirements, resignations, whatever we got going on there.
Yeah, yeah. So, let's see. The one we added was, what's the name of it?
1881.
Hear that? I think of Dominic Wilkins, played for Palms. You gotta be a child of the 80s.
Random thoughts.
All right.
Different guy.
Yeah, different guy. Okay, so I'll just run through those real quick. $145 a day. This one, Lacey Pearson, for certified substitutes, classified substitutes. At $19.56 an hour per professional, Lacey Pearson. Retirements. This one kind of hurts. Somebody's been here 39 years and almost anybody in this room who went to school here, is familiar with Kim Wolfen and, the impact that she's had on our district. So I don't want to go on and on, but just, yeah, that'll be a tough one to replace. So anyway.
My favorite is her shirt that she's been wearing every day. She made herself a shirt that says I'm the queen and I'm retiring.
Classified work agreements, Jonathan Reichert, elementary paraprofessional, 1956 an hour. Courtney Nelson, elementary paraprofessional, 1956 an hour. And Dominique Williams,
You said that was middle school, right?
yes, middle school paraprofessional, and the hourly rate there is.
1881 until he takes his para test.
Okay.
Good. Okay,
So we would entertain a motion to approve those contracts. Make a motion. Okay,
I'll second that.
okay. I have a motion made a second. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. Next item is the combined primary election agreement between the city, county, and school.
So this is the Lawrence County agreement that we need to sign. It's in your board packet. The purpose basically is that we will combine with the county on even numbered years for the primary. And then the odd number years, we'll just continue what we're doing. It'll still be held in June with the other entities that are having elections. So, you have any questions on this? Basically, on the even numbers, the Lawrence County will pay all expenses and then they'll just invoice us for it. I do the same thing on the odd numbers. We pay all the expenses and then, I invoice the other entities. So we just need a motion to, approve the combined agreement with Lawrence County for the primary election.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Sure.
The next item is our student representative report from Shay Ellen.
Okay, so I talked to a bunch of the other students. I tried to get some underclassmen, but they're mostly unopinionated. From what I could tell, the freshmen just kind of, I don't know. But, so this is mostly upperclassmen stuff. Everyone is very happy with 0 hour. They really think that it's a good idea for the school, so that was a good addition there. And this is kind of my opinion, because depending on who you talk to, you might not get the same answer, but I think that the phone policy is very beneficial. We've been a lot more strict on, like, you have to keep your phone up and stuff, and I think that that's helped, like, productivity a lot. And same with the teacher request sheet for study hall. I think that's helped a lot. I think some of where the not so good opinions come from, Mr. Jacobs and Mr. Embrock have very different styles of being a principal. Mr. Jacobs was very chill, and Mr. Embrock is very much more like he wants to make sure that we're on task. And so I think that that's kind of ruffled some feathers, especially in upperclassmen. But I think for the most part, the main thing that people really want to see a difference in is they just don't feel like admin or any kind of upper level is really working with them as much, like one-on-one student wise. I talked to a few different people, and it's a lot of like, well, I thought the school board only handled like the budget and stuff. So I think that maybe we could work on getting like admin to feel more involved with like actually school and like student atmosphere. And not that like you're not working on that, but sometimes it just doesn't feel that way to certain students. And other than that, everything seems to be fine. The 0 hour was definitely something that a lot of the students really wanted me to say that they enjoyed. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shay, for that. We appreciate it. Right. Next up is the administrator report, Dr. Pearson.
I have a full sticky note, but some of these things I don't have much to say. The calendar committee is meeting tomorrow morning at 7:30. And if you recall, I talked about possibly, we're gonna try this, and I can't promise it's gonna be a huge success, but we're gonna try and bring a 2-year calendar for you guys to approve. And that kind of honestly came from a little bit copying Sturgis. They're doing that this year. And it kind of intrigued me as we were talking with the Deadwood Chamber and with the mayor and the city and trying to coordinate events and all that. It's like, because we're looking already at Lead-Deadwood nights for 2027. Like, would it help if we tried a 2-year calendar? And I thought, hey, that might be pretty good. So that's kind of a collaboration there. Last week, Dan and Amber and I were invited to the Deadwood Mayor's Roundtable. And it was really kind of a good civic discussion about Deadwood. Things are going on in Deadwood, and it's interesting. One of the real hot topics, and we didn't say much on it, but was housing, the need for housing, and you know, that's kind of everywhere. But it was really, I kind of commended the mayor. I said, you know, in a leadership position, you can always be criticized for not communicating enough or not communicating in the right way. You know, why did you have this meeting at this time instead of this time? And I said, but I commend you for doing what you're doing, trying to reach out to different stakeholders. And I think that's something that we've been trying to do. We've addressed that in our strategic plan. We've got a number of things coming up where we're trying to engage with the public. And so I thought that was really good, and it was kind of an honor to be invited to that. So today we got a call from a patron in the district about wanting to donate money. And Margie might have the exact number, but wants to donate some money to address some delinquent lunch accounts. And so that was kind of and it kind of sounded like he didn't necessarily have that other donation in mind. It wasn't like he did it because he saw the one that went to the elementary, but it seemed like it was just something they wanted to do.
Yeah. He just, is handling this state or whatever, and it just generates interest. So he said that he's able to do that now. And then maybe reach out to him, the end of May, and he'll have more funds available. And he just thought that, delinquent mail accounts were what this person would be happy to donate to. He also did say if we have any other needs, Jay, like Outlaw Ranch or anything, to reach out to him. So he said I could give you his name.
Very nice.
Okay, just a couple more things, on the communication thing too. I think we had talked about, maybe we had talked about this, the flyer that went out to the mailboxes, and we've got some good comments on that. I was kind of like nervous, like, who likes getting junk mail? But, I've had a lot of people say that, that's really, was attractive, and it gave us kind of some statistics there, and it kind of engaged some people. Then we had a few people, I think, came to our, District Pulse presentation yesterday, and I'm sorry, that's only gonna be so interesting. It's me talking for a half hour, and it just is what it is. But we had a few people there, and I think we're gonna keep doing that and keep looking for ways to engage with the public. And just like when we have our coffee things in the mornings, I know somebody made a comment, well, you don't really want people to show up if you do it at 9:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, yeah, but we're also doing we're doing, a different format. We're doing a meeting at 5:30 tomorrow night. So we're just try a variety of different things, to give people different options to come and engage with us. And so, with that, just a reminder to the board members, kind of be ready to engage with the public and talk tomorrow night. And I'll touch on that a little more here, in one of my next items. But, I guess real quick, an update on the middle school renovation project. There are some things that are just really stalled out on delivery times for certain items, but I think we're gonna see things kind of coming together quickly. So I think I informed the board a while back that the expected completion date for phase 1 got pushed back. That's end of February, and that has to do with a lot of the glass and the storefronts. And when we say storefront, we're talking about like the glass, the doors with glass in them and glass beside them. That's kind of the big hang up, but there are other things that aren't completed too. So we should, and I know they struggled a little bit with concrete. There was one piece of concrete they poured 3 or 4 different times, the same piece, and I'm glad we're not paying for that. But stuff happens. Anyway, the demo is going really pretty well up on the second floor, the old office area. And because things got behind on the lower part, we've kind of had to do, the original plan was to do a smooth transition, get completely out of that office, and they could have the whole space. Well, Eva's little area is kind of cordoned off, and we still have students come in there. That's still where people come. Jay is down the hall in a different office, and I'd say it's working, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Maybe not ideal, but
Yeah, it's working.
yeah, people are making the best of it. And so, we're looking at being completely in the new office down below by the end of February. And I don't know how this is gonna work, but they're still talking, completion of the entire project on close to the original timeline, end of March. And we'll see what happens there. But, like Bill made the comment right before the meeting to me, he said, I think they will have phase 2 done before they'll have phase 1 done. I mean, it's almost getting that out of sync, but yeah. Anyway, they're moving along, and the workmanship is really good. Looks great. So, real quick on just a little update on the land project, and we've got some, we talked about the plating is kind of in process right now. And there are some documents kind of going back and forth between interstate engineering Amber's been a big help in kind of reviewing those and making sure that that the legal descriptions are correct so they can be approved by the county. And again, we're doing a boundary plat or preliminary plat, right? Is that the right language? Yeah, preliminary boundary plat, dividing up into the different tracts. And then from there, it would be ready that in the future, if you wanted to divide it up further into lots, we could do that at a later time. The big decision that's going to be before you here coming forward, and I think some of the most controversial pieces of this, where you've heard some of the most pushback, is the idea of providing some housing for staff. And I think that's where some questions are coming, like how much is that going to cost? How much is the right amount to do? Some people would say, yep, a few of those would be good. Some people say 0 of those would be good. And so when you look at that timeline that we have kind of looked at and kicked around in the last couple of months, I guess I'd want to remind you that our timeline is to basically take a vote on that timeline in February. So if you need me to resend that to you, we've got some printed copies here, but if you need me to resend that to you, I can. But if there's anything on there, and you'll get, I think, a good feel for where the public is with this thing tomorrow night. You've had people contacting you, you've heard from some people, but, just because I put this piece of paper in front of you doesn't mean I expect you to rubber stamp it. So you can look at this and you can say, well, I'm not comfortable with this part of it. Let's not do this. Let's pump the brakes here. Let's go ahead with this. And so I think really we'll be in a place where, within the next month, we'll kind of know where we're going. And then if we make the decision to approve a timeline that would maybe pursue some housing options, that kind of thing, that's where we really have to dial in and get a lot more information before we'd actually proceed. Because admittedly, we're not in a place right now where we have all the answers for these things, and I think, that was really deliberate, I guess, on my part and on the part of the committee, because, it's a lot of work to actually look at getting quotes, getting estimates, and you do all that legwork. And if it's not something you're going to do anyway, I guess I don't need to put 100 hours into it, is what I'm kind of getting at. But if it's like, if the board is kind of like, hey, that's our intent, that's somewhere we want to explore that, then yeah, I'll put in the time and we'll get the estimates, and then you would have another opportunity to approve, like when you get those numbers, you get that information, then you'd approve moving forward or not. But like I said, within the next month, we need you to kind of, hey, is this something we want to look at or not? Do we stop where we're at? And if we stop where we're at, we can focus on other things. So does that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Well, I guess just kind of a clarification too. For tomorrow night's meeting, it would be beneficial, just because there's so many emails that go back and forth. Could you send one in the morning of kind of like, maybe like that checklist again, just kind of the stuff that we're gonna be looking at again without all the other emails? That would be helpful.
Okay. Just kind of consolidate
All the stuff.
the documents and what, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, that would be helpful for me, the current stuff.
Yeah,
I know
most
we
current
made
things.
changes and
Yeah.
whatnot,
Ray, would you help me remember, please?
Thank you, Barry. And then the other one was, and I'm just for the public's knowledge, I've had a couple people ask me about the plat. That is not going in front of the planning commission for the city of Lead until their second meeting. Because they had a meeting tonight too, so there was a lot of confusion on that, but it's not until the 27th, I believe, is their plan to look at the planning commission for the city of Lead. So just to clarify, because we want to make sure that that was not on their agenda before we have tomorrow's meeting.
Are you gonna include the plat in the email?
If you would
we
like
have
me
it,
to.
Well, we have
Yeah.
the draft.
Yeah, draft.
So I have a draft
Yeah.
that I printed, but there's some errors on it
No,
that I saw that I.
So really, what we could, and maybe
We could
make sure
do
we're
that.
speaking the same language here. we do have a map that is more or less correct to that, but it doesn't have
Like
all the
monuments
dimensions and the
dimensions.
monuments and all that.
Yeah, no, mainly showing with the track.
Okay,
Okay, yep, we can do that.
Yep.
With the idea that the names might change on this track.
yes, the legal description is going to change. Davita at the deeds office had some suggestions because she couldn't accept the legal that was originally there. Just for recording
Yeah,
purposes.
just so we're
for
talking,
issues.
we're all talking the same thing
Yep.
on that.
So it'd be.
Right, if somebody's saying, hey, this chunk of land here, you wanna have some idea what they're talking about. And we'll also have a big map for people to see. If it's laminated, we'll stick it on the, Bill's gonna help me remember that.
That colored map is what
Yeah.
we're talking about, the one that had it color coded.
Correct, with the, whatever, 7 tracks, or whatever.
We meet in the cafeteria.
Meet in the cafeteria, and it's gonna be a little more of a town hall type of meeting, so I think we'll have the board members all sitting together, facing the public. We'll have whatever administration will be there kind of off to the side. I anticipate I'll be, like, you guys will have a microphone that you can pass along so that any of you can speak or answer questions, and then I'll walk around with a cordless mic. And if somebody wants to talk, I presume Amber would probably call on them, and I'd run over there, give them the mic, and, you know. I look for that to be as more of a dialogue where we're engaging with people. People can ask questions and hopefully get answers and a little bit of back and forth. So, yeah.
Okay, perfect, thank you. That was my only 2 comments or questions.
And I think that's pretty much my whole report.
Okay. Looks like the elementary principal, Mr. Vanderbilt.
All right. I always like to start with this just because, you know, the national tendency is for enrollment to go down. We started the year with 267 kids. As of today, we have 267 kids. So we've lost some, we've gained some, net 0. So that bodes well, I think. We've had some new staff join on, John Reichert and Courtney Nelson, absolutely fantastic. The quality hires that we got there, amazing the way they work with kids and the staff, they're a great addition. Just some minor changes in the building over Christmas break. Bill and company helped move our ACE room. If you're familiar with our current ACE room, it was a lot bigger than like Val Minahan's room, and she needed a little more area to service her kids appropriately. So we switched those rooms. So now the ACE room is smaller, which I'm hoping indicates less ACE room visits, maybe, I don't know. But Val's very happy in that new room with the extra space to be able to service her kids. We're back in full swing with students, PBIS stuff going on. We have a January refresher, review of behavior expectations in different common areas throughout the building, like the lunchroom, restrooms, bus, morning routines and stuff like that. Each class sets goals and they can earn puzzle pieces. And then they complete their 9-square puzzle once they've completed that in the month of January. And then they'll receive recognition in front of the school when they do that. Smarter Balance preparations are underway. We got a meeting with special education teachers this week to make sure we have all the accommodations in, all the class lists set for all the teachers. I am sending my new teachers in grades 3 through 5 to Belfouche for some interim testing training. They're doing an in-person training there, so they're going on the morning of the 16th this week to do that. And then I've gave the mandate to go ahead and start working those interim test questions with classes, whether it's little focused mini tests or, you know, even printing them out in PDF format and using them as like a warm-up problem of the day, just so kids get familiar with the language. Currently we're holding quarterly awards assemblies. It's one of my favorite times of the year. We get to recognize academic achievement, citizenship, improvement and effort, and then all the hard work and effort in specials classes that they get to go to. And that's also part of my favorite thing, because what I do is I call parents with a positive phone call home and say, hey, your child's gonna be receiving an award. It's a surprise. Want you to show up, be a part of this assembly. It's great. I love making those phone calls home. Coming up, we have our skiing unit, which kids are looking forward to, grades 3 through 5. The first, third, and fourth weeks in February, we had to have a little break. They got something going on there. A little more snow might be nice. But my son's been going every weekend, so he says it's great. Then we have our second family fun night, March 5th at 5:30. I invite you to attend that. That'll be a good time. It'll be Dr. Seuss. I'll probably I definitely will be wearing my Cat in the Hat costume again. So, pretty exciting. Kids are excited for that. So. That's about it. Like, it's kind of quiet time of the year.
Family fun night is my wife's birthday. I don't know if that's
I think you should
the birthday celebration.
That sounds like a birthday date.
Right.
Yeah.
Bet you they'll be fishing.
There'll be games, you know. Hey, baby.
Yeah.
She might
This is
enjoy.
how I roll, baby.
Hey, nothing like ring toss and fishing together.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, Margie, election update?
Yeah, I just wanted to give you some dates on the June 2nd election. We did, publish the vacancies that we published on December 16th and the 23rd. We have one vacancy, Amber Deers, 3-year position. You can start circulating petitions on Monday, February 2nd. And they need to be returned by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 24th. And then the first day of absentee voting is Friday, April 17th. I'm not gonna give you, then we have some other deadlines for the notices. But then election day is June 2nd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's all we have.
I'm happy to see Amber writing those dates down. Pick up on subtle cues. At least you're not going like this.
Oh, I know, and I can decide.
All right,
Round 3.
thank you, Margie.
You're
for that.
welcome.
I think we are down to the public forum. We did not have any forums handed in. Okay. I don't think we have any. Next meeting is tomorrow night, Wednesday, January 14th.
And on that, just to clarify, I took the liberty of, like, when we put that agenda together, I wrote on that agenda that to speak in the roundtable about the land project, people don't need to fill out the form. Like, we'll want them to sign in when they come in, just put their name down. But they don't have to sign up to speak during that, because it'll be a back and forth. Now, state law is we have to have a public forum at every meeting, so it's kind of weird. The whole meeting is public forum. Then we're also gonna have another public forum. I don't imagine anybody, yeah, like, if somebody wants to come talk about, the snow removal behind the high school, they can still come talk about that.
So it'll have your normal agenda items, but then that'll still be on there. And then, okay, so tomorrow night is the meeting, 5:30 in the cafeteria. And then we will turn around and have our regular board meeting on Tuesday, February 10th at 5:30 back in this room. Okay, so we would need a motion to adjourn. I'll make that motion. Thanks, everybody.